Hi, welcome to the very first episode of my cooking show. Today I'm going to be teaching you something a little different, something I came up with in an effort to avoid eating carbs. It is my Bratwurst Cabbage Skillet. It is really good. It is simple, it is delicious, it's quick, and I think your family is going to love it just as much as I do. Okay, so we're going to start by heating our pan up with a medium heat just to get it going. As you can see over here, I've got everything already prepped. We've got our bratwurst links that have been decased and ready to go. We've chopped up our cabbage, our onion, our garlic, and we also have our beer and mustard sauce with our brown sugar in there as well, mixed and ready to go, just to help get rid of some of the fizziness. I'm also going to be using salt and pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder to taste, but we also have a little bit of beer left over from our sauce that we will keep available in case we need some more moisture. So let's go ahead and get started here. We're going to take our bratwurst and we're going to go ahead and add that to the pan and just get that going. Let's make sure we get everything out of that bowl. And we're just going to go ahead and get that started to a nice brown. We're going to let this cook and mix it up just like a ground beef until it is either fully cooked or just about cooked. We don't want to always overcook it to full brownness, because then you overcook it and you're going to lose some of the moisture that we want to keep in there. So let's go ahead and get this started, and we'll come back as soon as we are nice and brown. So we've got our meat pretty much brown and ground down here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add my tablespoon of butter to that, just to get a little bit more moisture in there. Plus, it's butter, and I love butter. You can use oil instead if you'd like. That's really up to you. While we do that, we're going to also go ahead and add our onions in and get that mixed in so we can start cooking that down until it comes out to be a nice little bit of translucency to it. Okay, so our onions are cooking nicely here. You can see they have a little bit of a transparency to them. Started in some a little sooner than others, but that's okay because we still have some more cooking to go. We're going to go ahead and add in our 2 to 3 cloves of garlic. And we're just going to mix that in and let it cook until we start really smelling that amazing aroma of garlic. Oh, that smells so good. Okay, so we are ready to go ahead and start seasoning it a little bit more. I'm going to start with a little bit of salt and do our pepper as well. Now, salt you don't want to do too much because we don't want it salty. We just want to use the salt to help enhance the flavors. That is essentially what salt does. And some pepper because I like pepper. Give that a nice little mix. And that smells amazing. Okay. So at this point, our meat is cooked, our onions are getting cooked, and our garlic is starting to let off that really amazing garlic aroma. So we are now ready to go ahead and turn this heat down a little bit, add our cabbage, add our sauce, and then cover it to let it sit there and simmer a little bit until our cabbage gets down to the moist, well, the softened level that you want. Some people like it a little crunchy, some people like it really wilted down. That's really going to be up to you and the people in your house. So let's go ahead and turn that down to just below low. Give it another little stir. I am using cast iron, so it's going to maintain that heat really well. So I want to go ahead There we go. Get all those little extra bits off. I'm going to go ahead and get my cabbage and start putting it on top. I want to catch all those little pieces because I love cabbage. Okay, so we're not going to mix this together yet because as you can see, it's kind of piled up over all that meat. So we need to get that cabbage wilted down a bit. To help with that, we're going to use our sauce, which again is our beer, our ground mustard, and our brown sugar. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of pour that over the top and let that just get all over. You can hear that nice little simmer. So we're going to let that sit like that for now. And because I'm using my cast iron, I do not have a lid for this, but I do need to cover it. If you are using a pan that you do not have a lid for that fits, you can use a large plate. You can use another pan that is large enough and just set it upside down on top of it. Or what I like to do is use tin foil. So I already have a piece of tin foil cut to size. I'm just going to put that right on top and carefully pinch it down. I can already smell that beer. So we're going to let that cook with a little bit of simmering action going on, and we're going to come back in a few minutes. Okay, so we've let this cook a little bit. It smells amazing. And so we're going to go ahead and see where we're at right now with our reduction of the cabbage. As you can see, we have a brighter green color going with the cabbage, so that means it's really starting to cook down. It's a little softer as well, so we can go ahead and start breaking up these larger chunks so they can really get cooked. Now, myself personally, I like my cabbage a little crunchy, but the other person eating the cabbage tonight likes it soft. So we're going to cook it down a whole lot for him. And that's okay, because he's my producer. So let's go ahead and get this mixed up a little bit. You can see our meat is nice and moist. Our onions have gotten a nice cook down to them where they have a little bit of a caramelization happening. You can see those under parts of the cabbage that are cooked nicely as well. So we're just going to go ahead and get this mixed up a little bit more so that it can really start cooking with all the flavors together. There's a lot going on here, so we're going to just add those pieces back into the pan. This smells amazing. Now we have some of these harder chunks, like I mentioned. We want to get those cooked down. I still have a good amount of moisture in there, so I'm going to go ahead and get this covered a little bit longer so it can cook down a little bit longer. So we're going to cover this up again, and we'll be back again soon. Okay, so I went ahead and turned the heat back up on here to a medium just to get that nice roaring simmer underneath there because I wanted to get a little bit more steam action happening to help soften this cabbage a bit more. Ooh, that is hot. Look at that. So I'm going to set that aside because we're probably going to use it a little bit more for a little more wilting action. But right now, I just want to take a look at how everything is doing. This looks and smells amazing. But we still have a little bit more seasoning we want to do to this. We're going to go ahead and add a little bit more pepper, probably a little bit more salt as well, because I tasted it before we came back on scene and it just needed a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and get that going with some garlic powder and some onion powder to add into that amazing flavor we want. So we're going to just do some garlic powder and do some onion powder. And then we're going to do a little bit more salt and some more pepper. Now, if you want to sweeten this up a little bit, you can also go ahead and add more brown sugar. It gives it a little bit more of a sweet flavor and a caramelization. But we're not going for that here in our house tonight, so we're going to keep it just like this and just get everything mixed in nice and well before we cover it up a little bit longer. But as you can see, this cabbage is wilting down nicely. We've got a nice simmer going. This meat smells and tastes amazing as well. Oh, I can't wait till you try this. Okay. So I think instead of covering it back up, we've got a lot of juice down here. So I'm going to let this keep cooking a little bit longer to also help marry all of those flavors of seasoning that we just put back into this dish. So we're going to let it simmer open so that we can get some of that moisture out of this dish. And then we'll be back in just a few minutes to show you the final product along with a highly rated and highly suggested side to go with this. Okay, so we are just about done here. Everything seems to be pretty soft. We've got this nice darker color going with our cabbage. The thicker pieces are starting to get a little translucent, so it is down to the softness that my producer likes. So I think we are done, and we can go ahead and get this plated. Okay, so here is the final product. We've got our nice frosty mug of beer. We've got our skillet and our pretzels to go along with it. Real easy. Throw them in the oven for a few minutes with some salt. Dip them in a pan of extra mustard, and we are good to go. This looks and smells amazing. Let's give this a try. Oh my gosh. It's mustardy. It's cabbagey. Damn, that is good. You're going to love this. Oh, I apologize. They're so good. So again, this is the final product. It's quick, it's easy, it's delicious. Look for the recipe below. Be sure to leave your comments. Be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and keep an eye for more videos to come. We're kicking off this holiday season with all the amazing foods we love to eat with our friends and our family. So just keep a lookout for more to come. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to see more.